The Texas Chain Saw Massacre. A perfect movie. Bold claim? I don't think so. But let's talk about it. So originally I did plan on making this video when the Netflix requel thing movie came out, but I got busy, which happens a lot. Anyways, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the video game, just came out last Friday, so I figured people are talking about it. What better time than now to make a video on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? How many times am I gonna say the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Probably a lot of times. Okay, let's talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a 1974 horror film directed by Tobe Hooper. Tobe Hooper also directed films like Poltergeist, The Funhouse, Salem's Lot. Eventually, I do want to cover all three of those. So, a quick plot synopsis of the film would basically be a group of friends are going to Newt, Texas for a personal matter, and they basically find a farmhouse that has a certain family there, and then they're stuck and have to escape to survive. That's the TLDR. So, in my opinion, this movie is perfect. It's actually a tie for my number one favorite movie of all time. It's in a tie with The Evil Dead, the original Sam Raimi one. I'm kind of biased. Both those movies are what got me into filmmaking, so obviously I like them a lot. There's really not enough nice things I can say about the movie. Cinematography by Daniel Pearl is also the low budgetness, I think, really works in favor of the movie. It makes it feel more gritty and scary, so that's a plus. The set design is also pretty amazing once we get to the farmhouse and there's all the bones and animal stuff and all that grossness that makes it feel really dirty. I think that aesthetic is really great, and it looks cool. I mean, without spoilers, that's all I can really say. The movie's amazing. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If you call yourself a horror fan, you should definitely see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at least once in your life. I've seen some people online call the movie boring. I've seen that in reviews on Shudder. You can say that about the first Friday the 13th, but you can't say that about this movie. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it takes time to build tension and introduce the characters and make you feel for them. It serves a point. There's a purpose. They're not just, walking around doing nothing. They're doing stuff, So it's not boring. And like I said, it's on Shudder. If you haven't seen it, go see it on Shudder. If you don't have Shudder, get Shudder. If you're watching my videos and you're a horror fan, you should have Shudder. It's pretty cheap. I'm not sponsored, but I like to be. Okay. With all that out of the way, let's get into spoilers and let's talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Already, the opening of this film is great. You get the classic text scroll narrated by John Larroquette.
The Texas Chain Saw Massacre.
We also get the iconic camera flash sound. Later movies in the franchise will just use this randomly. I think in the Netflix one, it's they open a grill and it does the camera flash noise. So it's nice in this movie where it's actually a camera taking photos and it's, the actual sound effect being used in the film. A grave robber is digging up graves, obviously, in Newt, Texas, and he's using the bodies for a little bit of fun arts and crafts. We then meet the protagonist of the film. We got Sally and her boyfriend Jerry. We also got another couple, Pam and Kirk. And then we meet our first antagonist of the movie, Franklin. I'm just kidding, kind of. Franklin is actually Sally's brother, who's in a wheelchair, and he's kind of just along for the ride. Everyone just seemingly hates him, but he's here, so we got to deal with it. The group of friends are heading to Texas to check out the graves since Sally and Franklin's grandfather was buried there. So, this part of the movie is really just a bunch of introductions and, showing off the characters. But, it's incredible cinematography. It's really nice to look at. We get to our actual first antagonist when the group finds the hitchhiker. They stupidly, let him in their van because he's hitchhiking and give him a ride. It was the 70s. People just did that. He acts a little crazy and things get a little weird. He starts to cut himself and then he does the group a favor and he tries to attack Franklin. He then gets kicked out of the van and he's upset, but the group just drives on. The hitchhiker is acted by Edwin Neal, who is, perfect in the role. Very scary. Our group of friends then run out of gas after ignoring a bunch of warnings not to go, onto old properties and stuff like that, but they don't want to listen. Burke and Pam separate from the group to go, have some alone alone time, and they stumble upon a farmhouse. Kirk decides to go alone and check out the home, see if anyone's there, so he can try to get some gas, while Pam stays outside. Kirk just walks into this person's house and gets a Texas greeting. The lesson this movie is really trying to teach is not to enter someone's house without permission, especially in Texas. This is also our first real good look at Leatherface, played here by Gunnar Hansen, another perfect casting. It's also the best looking Leatherface we're ever gonna get. Unfortunately, in the sequels, they, in my opinion, never come close to how he looks in this movie. Pam is tired of waiting and goes to check on Kirk, see what's going on, and we get one of many ass shots that this franchise likes to do. Leatherface greets her and gives her a big ol' hug, but I don't think she likes, to be hugged without consent, so she freaks out a little bit. In return, Leatherface puts her on a meat hook. Classic. He then uses the titular chainsaw to cut up Kirk's body, probably to eat later. The day goes on, more shenanigans happen, Jerry dies. Sally's worried and she has to go through the woods, and Franklin's being a baby, so she has to bring him. So she's, pushing a wheelchair through the woods, which is probably really difficult. Franklin just keeps being annoying, even though, Sally's doing this for him, and Leatherface decides to just come out and take care of that. Sally makes a run for it and is chased to a gas station where Leatherface, seems to disappear. There's an older gentleman there who's, says he's there to help her. This man is known as the Cook. He was actually introduced earlier in the movie. It's a little bit of a twist when we find out that he's actually a family member of Leatherface. He then beats Sally with a broom and knocks her out. Sally is then awakened at a dinner table surrounded by the family. This is one of the most iconic dinner scenes in film history. Better than Hereditary, in my opinion. Just saying. Now we got the whole family. The hitchhiker, who, is also part of the family, he comes back. The cook, Leatherface, and we even got Grandpa. Shit just gets crazy, and Sally's able to escape, and she just jumps out a window and makes her way for the road. The hitchhiker and Leatherface chase her out to the road, where a semi comes out and runs over the hitchhiker, killing him. Leatherface chases after Sally, and for some reason, the semi-truck driver gets out of the truck. I have never understood why he does this. He also throws a wrench at Leatherface, which is actually hilarious. He then just, he's like, F this, I'm out, and runs away. And, some say he's still running to this day. Another guy pulls up in a pickup truck, and Sally hops in the bed, and they get away, and Sally is saved. Although, all her friends are dead, including her boyfriend and her brother. And she's super traumatized, so, that sucks, but at least she's alive. Leatherface then does a little jig with his chainsaw out of frustration. And, the movie ends, and that's basically the gist of the Texas Chain Saw Massacre. It's had a bunch of sequels since the original, including the second one, which is directed by Tobe Hooper as well. And I'm also going to cover that one next. I'm going to try to get through all the Texas Chain Saw Massacres, so wish me luck. This movie is grade A, and I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it yet, just watch it. Just watch it. I've also been playing the video game a lot since it just came out. I love the Friday the 13th video game, so this is that, but better. So I've been loving that. If you guys would like to see maybe some gameplay on that, I might do a review of it, something like that. Let me know in the comments. If you like this review and breakdown, please leave a like. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to see more. And thanks.